Hi, everyone. Welcome to Government Contracting 101. In today's seminar on entering the world of government contracting as a newcomer, we will identify the fundamental elements needed to successfully gain and navigate this robust and lucrative market. Our aim is to equip you with the knowledge and tools necessary to get started in government contracting, exploring the critical steps for business formation, registration, certifications, and more. So let's dive into it. Okay, so before we dive into the seminar, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Simone Merritt, and I'm a passionate human resource executive, speaker, business mentor, and entrepreneur with over 14 years of experience. As the CEO and founder of Enomis Consulting Group, I lead a human resource agency that provides high quality and practical HR solutions tailored for small businesses and emerging entrepreneurs. I am also the author and creator of the Dollar and Cents Financial Literacy Book for Teens, which is designed to teach youth essential financial skills. Through my foundation, Tomorrow's Promise, which is located in Metro Atlanta, Georgia, we focus on equipping minority youth with the resources and tools they need to succeed in today's fast paced world. My goal today is to share my expertise with you and my passion to inspire you to thrive in government contracting and beyond. Let's get into business formation. Diving into business formation. Correct business formation. When beginning your journey, it's crucial to establish the right business structure. This decision impacts everything from liability to taxes and compliance requirements. Common options include limited liability companies, or LLCs, corporations, which can be C Corp or S Corp, and sole proprietorships. Each of these structures offer different benefits and obligations, so choosing the right one will depend on your business goals and operational plans. In this section, it's essential to make sure you have all of your documentation organized and in a readily accessible space because as you get into the SBA platform, you are going to be required to upload a lot of these documents. Let's dive into foundational registration and codes. Here we're going to go over capability statements, NACE codes, your Dun& and Bradstreet DMV, as well as the SAM.gov registrations. The first one that we're going to dive into will be capability statements. So for capability statements, this acts as a resume for your business, where as an individual, you will provide your resume to whomever you are applying for something for. The capability statement is the resume for your business. On this statement, it is a concise document that is basically an overview of all of the things that your business has accomplished, your services, what your core competencies are. On some capability statements, you'll even see someone listing their competitors and what their differentiators are from their competitors. Some of the important things that you need to identify and make sure that you have on your capability statements, we have shown here on the screen. So your UEI, this is your unique identifier that you have to use and get on the SAM.gov's website. This is definitely essential. It's kind of replacing the identificator code that Dun& Bradstreet used to be for businesses. This is fairly new over the last, I say, year and a half or so. So you want to make sure you have that very visible and at the top of your capability statement. In addition to that, you're going to have your cage code, your EIN number, and your Dun& Bradstreet, as well as again identifying what your core competencies are. So depending on your business, you're going to list what those things or your services are. For me, it's HR consulting. I've highlighted and identified some of the services that we offer under that category. We also offer NDT consulting. You'll see that listed, as well as some other things. So depending on what your business is and what services you offer, you want to make sure those things are there. Same as for your contact information. If you have a physical address, if you're utilizing a mailing address, depending on the contract, both of those things would necessarily be needed, as well as all your contact info, LinkedIn, email, and phone number. The next thing that we would go over is going to be your NAICS codes. You see, I have NAICS codes listed on my capability statement, but these codes are the North American Industry Classification Codes that help categorize the industries in which your business operates in. So it's very important to identify and register the correct codes for your business because they represent the products and services that you offer. This classification will also help you when you're searching for different contracts that you want to bid on, because sometimes they're categorized based off of the NAICS codes, which you type that NAICS code in any particular site that you're searching for bids or for contracts, and they'll pull up all of the available contracts that are relative to the industry and the services that you provide. NAICS codes, there could be many NAICS codes that are relative to your business. You want to make sure you identify at least 8 to 10, and then narrow down even from there what your top 4 are. Your top priority is to identify your main services in the best NAICS code possible and use it as your primary code. Most of the sites, especially SAM.gov, they will allow you to list secondary NAICS codes, but you want to make sure your primary NAICS code is the one that classifies you best well with your service. The next thing we're going to talk about would be Dun & Bradstreet. Everybody's probably familiar with DNB when it comes to Dun & Bradstreet. Again, this was one of the primary identifiers that were used for businesses prior to the UEI coming out, but you still want to make sure you have it. I say this because some contracts also require you to submit your DNB credit file for your business. Just depending on the government department, this is sometimes I've seen it happen, sometimes it doesn't, but you want to make sure you have that account and that you've registered your business and that you have that number and that it's there. Even if it's not used as frequently as it used to be, it's definitely something that's still important to have. All right, so now let's dive into SAM.gov. SAM.gov is the primary portal for finding government contracting opportunities. You want to familiarize yourself with all of the features with inside SAM.gov. Once you have registered your organization, you'll be able to log in using either a single sign-on or not, and you'll be able to search all of the opportunities that are out there in multiple departments, whether it's DOD, the Air Force, or any of those opportunities. You'll be able to find most of those contracts that are out there in the SAM.gov portal. This is, again, one of the most essential portals that you're going to utilize when it comes to government contracts. So make sure you register your business and get your login for this portal. Next, we're going to dive into SBA certifications. So SBA certifications, there are a ton. Here are the largest ones and the ones that I found that may resonate with your business or you as an individual. Your SBA certifications also are tied to you as an individual. And when I say that, for example, minority-owned business certification, clearly you must be classified as a minority in order to have this certification. Same with woman-owned small business certification. They also offer HUBZone certifications, 8A business development program, veteran-owned, as well as service-disabled veteran-owned, and the small business registration. So as you're trying to understand what these certifications look like and how you could possibly identify, it's good to kind of understand the differences between each of them. And I'll touch on them a little bit individually. So with minority owned, as previously stated, you have to be in the classification of a minority race in order to qualify for this one. All of these certifications and requirements, again, can be found on the SAM.gov website as well as the SBA website, and they'll be able to tell you what the eligibility requirements are. Woman-owned, a little bit about that one. You have to own 51% of the company as a woman. You can't have other owners when it comes to this certification, but you have to have at least 51% of ownership. HUBZone certification is based off of the primary address in which your business is located. So if you have a brick and mortar and you're actually working out of an office space, there may be, your office space may be located in what they consider a hub zone. You also have to have a certain amount of employees that are living within that space, and it gives you the opportunity to qualify for this set aside, which some contracts may be solely put out there for only HUBZone certifications can apply. So this set aside, any event that you qualify for, can help put you to the top of the line when it comes to bidding for a contract. I'm going to jump down to veteran-owned business, which is very simple. You have to have participated in the military in any branch, whether completely active or if it was in a reserve space. And then service disabled would be that you had to have had that service disabled classification upon discharge from the military. It will require, your DD-214, as well as some other documentations when applying for those certifications. The small business registration is based on the size of your organization and the classification. So on the SBA site, you'll be able to see what those eligibility requirements are as well when it comes to that one. Now, the 8A Business Development Program, I think, is a really, really good program to see if you qualify for. With this program, it is a set aside that will do the same thing and propel you to be able to compete with the larger primes on contracts. This is a lengthy process, typically anywhere from 8 months to a year to get through the certification. But upon receiving it, you're in this program for about 7 to 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it'll allow you to extremely, escalate the revenue of your business drastically over that time frame while learning the different tools that you need to maintain contracts and continue to get them once you're out of the program. So definitely take a look into that one if you're interested in a long-term development for your business when it comes to the government contracting sector. Again, it is lengthy. It does have a cost associated with it versus the other ones just more so have like an application cost associated with it, but it's definitely can be vital and very lucrative for your business. So jumping out of the SBA certifications, we're going to go into partnership and growth programs. So along with that 8A, the business development, when you're on the SBA site, you'll see mentor protege as well as joint venture programs. The mentor protege program is a program if you're a new business, and say you are familiar with a prime or a business that has already gone through the 8A program, you can join the mentor protege program where under them, they will guide you throughout the program and can also be utilized to help boost your capability statement to be able to bid on contracts. So say if I was small aviation business, and I'm trying to get into a mentor protege, and I know someone that works over at Boeing or over at Gulfstream or a company that is a large company like that, I may see if there would be open to the option of a mentor protege agreement to where I can learn from them and I can see the proper way to continue to grow and develop my business, as well as utilizing that partnership to help me when it comes to other contracts. This is not as difficult to get into as the 8A program is. It has a shorter application process, but it does require you to have already cultivated a relationship where you have a mentor that's willing to take you on in that program. Joint venture or the JV program is kind of similar, where in mentor protege, the mentor can actually get ownership, or you can offer ownership with them to your company to, I think, up to 25 or 30%. Definitely check those guidelines on that. But with the joint venture, typically this is where two individual companies come together and create one company in order to utilize each other's certifications to bid on larger contracts or projects. So for example, my company and your company would probably join both names together and create a joint venture. And now I have my woman-owned minority business cert, but you have your 8A. So I don't have my 8A, and I would like to utilize the benefits of what comes with that program, and you want to utilize the benefits of what comes with being a woman-owned business. So together with our two companies joining and creating a JV, we now can utilize all of those certifications and open up the window of opportunity for additional contracts to bid on. Finding opportunities and understanding contracts. There are so many different platforms that are out there now that can help you identify contracts. Ultimately, SAM.gov is where you want to go. This is where they have to post these. All of your government agencies on the federal level are going to post to SAM.gov. But you also have opportunities like GSA schedules as well as your local government. SAM.gov, again, your primary place. You want to familiarize yourself with everything that's on that site, as they do have some advanced search features. But the GSA schedule, typically once you register your business, and you start getting into SAM.gov, getting a UEI, you're going to get a call. The GSA schedulers are very persistent, and they will definitely reach out to you and see if you're interested in any of their packages. This is a platform that you have to pay for. Ultimately, when you get on the GSA schedule, they will identify contracts and bids that are out there and kind of send them to you and facilitate that process versus you having to actually go on to SAM.gov and locate and search for those contracts yourself. With local government, I always say whatever city and state you're in, all of your local government agencies have a area on their site where you can see what available contracts are out there. So for me, City of Atlanta, I'm always looking to see what type of contracts they have out there, what type of services they're looking for. So that could be the City of Atlanta. It could also be Fulton County government, and the state of Georgia. You can also look into your airports in your areas, because some of those are definitely going to be identified in the local government areas, and you can bid on multiple things. So I want you to broaden your horizon when you think of government contracts, and not it just being on a federal level, but it's definitely also on the local and state level as well. Outside of finding opportunities and understanding contracts, I kind of want to dive into what the different contracts look like. There are several different types of contracts that are available out there. And as you start looking and searching for them, you'll be able to identify which ones you feel like will be best suited for you. There are fixed price contracts, cost reimbursement contracts, and then they have IDIQs, which definitely are based off of your delivery, the delivery of the services and the quantity of the services. So cost reimbursement contracts, these contracts cover, allowable costs to a preset limit, suitable for when costs can't be, precisely estimated. So if they're asking you to bid on something that, depending on how things go, there are multiple variables that come into play when providing the service or the product, then this is probably going to be a cost reimbursement contract. So you want to make sure you're reading these things and these details in your contracts prior to bidding, because you want to know exactly what you're bidding for and how high you can bid, or if you have room to move that price up and down based off of the services that you're providing. Fixed price contracts is exactly as the name states. You want to be very sure that you are bidding your services out with your cushion in there, because with fixed price contracts, if you are awarded $10,000 for this particular service, if it costs you more than that, they're not going to waver in that, because that contract was based on it being fixed price only. The IDIQ contracts allow flexibility when it comes to quantity and delivery. So these are more ideal for when services are going to be continued, they're ongoing. It may be like a labor-based service. If you're providing staff, for example, they may work 40 hours this week and then only 30 hours the following week. So that type of contract is where you will see the fluctuation when it comes to terms versus the ones that are very fixed and detailed. Conclusion and Q&A. In conclusion, navigating government contracts and understanding the process is preparing for rigorous documentation collection, but it helps you leverage yourself in all of these strategic programs. So don't be discouraged. Continue to educate yourself on the government contracting process, and all the robust networks that can help you excel and grow your business in this particular sector when it comes to contracting. Any event that you have any questions that you feel like you want to send over, feel free to email them to me and I'll be able to respond back to you as soon as possible. Okay, you guys, so I would like to thank you for participating in today's seminar. I hope you found some of this information to be extremely helpful and empower you as you decide to embark on government contracting. Best of luck as you move forward. Please find all of our contact information on the screen, as well as we have a QR code for you to scan for 25% off any of our 2025 sessions. It can be related to HR or government contracting. So scan that code, get your discount, and I'll see you soon.